How's it going, guys? Phil here, and this is a review for the Tacklife Mini Circular Saw, model number CSK76AC. You'll receive the saw, a vacuum hose, rip guide, 3 4.5-inch wood saw blades, and an instruction manual. The tool is pretty heavy-duty and of medium-grade construction, similar to that of Black & Decker or DeWalt saw. The base is made of metal, while the body and thumb screws are made from ABS plastic. The power cord is about 6 feet long and has a Velcro cable tie and Allen wrench keeper. The instruction manual is pretty well written, and it's worth a read if you're unfamiliar with the tool's capabilities and proper safety measures for use. This saw has a couple of safety features like a lower blade guard, a lock-off button that prevents the trigger from being activated accidentally, and spindle lock. On the saw, you can adjust the blade depth with this thumb screw on the right-hand side from 1.5 inches on down. In front, you can adjust the blade angle from 0 to 45 degrees. Then on the tip, you have a line of cut indicator where the leftmost side indicates a 0-degree cut and the rightmost side a 45-degree bevel cut. If you have a shop vac, you can attach the small end of the vacuum hose to the saw's dust extraction port and connect your shop vac to the larger end of the hose to prevent excess sawdust from getting everywhere. To install the blade, make sure the saw is unplugged first. Then place the Allen wrench into the blade bolt. Press and hold the spindle lock button on the right-hand side of the unit while turning the spindle clockwise. When the spindle lock engages, you'll feel the button depress further and the spindle will stop turning. Continue to hold down the spindle lock as you turn the Allen wrench clockwise to loosen and remove the bolt, followed by the washer and outer flange. Lift the lower blade guard by pulling the lever forward and place the new blade onto the spindle, making sure the arrow on the blade is pointing in the same direction as the arrow on the upper guard. Then replace the outer flange, washer, and bolt. With the spindle lock engaged, tighten the bolt securely by turning counterclockwise with the Allen wrench. If you'll be making a long cut along the length of a piece of lumber, that is, going with the grain, this is called a rip cut. Since it can be difficult to follow a guideline along the entire length of such a long cut, you can use the rip guide to help you cut along a straight line. To install it, insert the bar with the measurement numbers facing up into the 2 slots starting from the left. You may need to loosen the locking screw in front to get it all the way through. Once through both slots, adjust the width of your cut by lining up the value with your line of cut indicator. Then tighten the locking screw. Unfortunately on mine, the rip cut guide isn't perfectly square, so as you can see, the rip cut guide, if used, might create a cut on an angle, or increase the risk of kickback. Operating the saw is pretty straightforward. You'll need to depress the lock-off button and hold it when you pull the trigger to start the blade spinning. Allow the blade to reach full speed by pausing for 1 to 2 seconds before moving it into your workpiece. When advancing the blade towards your cutting surface, you do not have to manually retract the lower blade guard. It will and should open on its own and snap back closed when you're done. The only time you'll need to manually lift the lower blade guard is when making pocket cuts or compound cuts. Overall, the saw with the included blades cut cleanly and straight, though a little on the rough side, so you'll likely need to sand down a bit. The unit is easy to set up and versatile for many projects, but mostly suited well for working with 2x4s and plywood boards. Other than not being able to use the included rip guide, I have had no problems with this tool. I hope you enjoyed this review. You can ask me any questions in the comments. I'll put a link to the product in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and join me next time.